There we go.
Thank you.
Thanks for keeping me on track here. And you guys, can you still see the PowerPoint or need to go back to that? I think I need to go back to that. Okay, there we go.
So what I know about the scanner is that some parts of our scanner, it tells us what the frequency numbers are. And we also know, like, for example, love is 500. And so we have that frequency, under Cephi, we have love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have forgiveness. We have gratitude. Those are all high frequencies for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then also under AO tune,
Mm-hmm.
it'll show you some of they'll give you the hertz numbers there. Oh, so there, yeah. So I didn't mean to skip ahead so much, but you were asking about that was
Yes.
sorry.
Right. Yeah.
It's
I was
good.
just curious, like if you can somehow plug in the numbers and be able to get to those frequencies, like, I don't know, even like the God frequency. I mean, I usually go on YouTube and get the frequency musics, and just meditate to that. But I was just curious.
Yeah. So what I did, and I just did this today, I put together, I'm going to show you what I did here. I put together like a Christ consciousness playlist, and I just did this just kind of, hang on just a second, I'm going to have to go just kind of on a whim tonight just to see what it would look like. And I'm not going to be able to share that unless I go here to AO scan. Bear with me. So I just kind of went through, can you guys see that now?
Yes.
With the
We
AO
see the AO
scan.
scan. Yes.
So I just went through just some things that I was thinking, as far as in terms of what would Christ consciousness look like, what were my thoughts on it. And abundance, I think when we're living in this space of, that we are really connected to God or source or whatever name that is that you call that higher level, that higher being, that animates us, that there's a place of abundance there where we don't come from, that there is, we're not in a state of lack. And so, that's why I added abundance. And then confidence and self-esteem, I think, is also really important. It's so important to love who we are and to know who we are, and really, I think, fall in love with ourselves. And this can happen in so many ways. It's about really getting to understand who you are and what your purpose is. And when you really understand that, and you dig in and do that inner work, you can begin to say, hey, I'm pretty cool, I love who I am. And so I think confidence and self-esteem is so important there. And then, health, strength, and recovery. One of the things that I'm understanding with each of the frequencies, like all of them that we're using in this AO scan, is that as we're working on our physical body, we're raising vibration. As we're working on the emotional body or the mental body, we're raising our vibration. So even when we're eating foods that, we can choose to eat foods that are low vibration or high vibration. So it's all of it. It's not, when I'm really getting, as I sit with this and I hear from other people, is that it's all of the frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I think love, forgiveness, and gratitude. I think gratitude might be like the magic. If you guys haven't read the book, The Magic, have you read it, Connie?
Yeah, I went through it with a group of people.
That book just like literally changed my life.
Oh,
It's
really? That's awesome.
it's so incredible what gratitude can do, because it's based on the Bible verse that says, it's basically along the lines of, he who has shall have more, and he who doesn't, I don't know if it says shall have less, I don't know what the exact verse is, but it's about gratitude. And so when we can be thankful and delight in things, then more of those, it's a universal law that just more of that's going to come to us. So I think that's kind of the magic. Peace, calmness, tranquility, inner peace. And then I added, for my playlist, I added all the chakras, because I started with just like, okay, crown and heart. And I'm like, definitely we want our solar plexus, because that's kind of our, where our lower emotions are stored. And so we want that to be healed. And I'm like, you know what? It's all of them. Like they all, we can balance all of them. And then I also added ultimate emotions and complete frequency set, and kind of keep me honest here, because I think one of them is solfeggio frequencies and the other is the rife frequencies.
So, so what Lauren said is, if you can't figure out what's going on with somebody on a playlist, you want to do the under quantum frequencies. There's a frequency called complete set. That's all the rife frequencies. Then we always know there's an emotional piece to everything we're doing, right? So the other part of it, because we know before dis-ease comes into our body, there's an emotion, it goes through the emotional field. It's spiritual, then mental, then emotional, then physical. So the ultimate emotions are all the Bach flower remedies. So it's all the emotional part of it.
Okay. I thought there was one that was all the solfeggio frequencies.
I am not sure about that one.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that was ultimate emotions.
Ultimate emotions are all the Bach flower remedies.
Okay. Okay. So
Maybe it's the complete frequency. Because there's two that look the same or similar, right?
The one at the bottom, complete frequency set, that's all the rife frequencies.
But then isn't there another one like complete set or complete?
It used to be called complete set. Now it's called complete frequency set.
Gotcha. All right.
And I will say it's not available yet, but with the new update that we just had, we have minerals, including gold and silver.
I saw those out there.
So we can't add them to our custom playlist yet.
Right.
That is coming. The other thing that's very high, after my son passed away, I heard God say to me, you need to keep your frequency as high as possible, because Nicholas's frequency is so high. So for me to be easier for us to stay in communication, I heard keep your frequency as high as possible. So I learned that pineapple is the highest frequency food we could consume, which, if you think about it, it looks like a crown, right? Which is like our crown chakra. And I learned that rose essential oil is the highest essential oil frequency. And guess what we have now? We have not a lot yet, but we do have, I don't even know, I didn't count them, but we have the essential oils. And guess what we have? We have rose essential oil, and we have frankincense and myrrh.
It's amazing.
So
Connie, are we going to be able to add those to the playlist too?
Yeah, eventually, soon. Yes.
Okay.
We'll be able to add them to the playlist.
Yeah. And if you guys, I didn't put that on here, but maybe I will for the next one. You can Google like frequency of food, and you'll even see. So I know from like, a meat perspective, and there's no judgment here as far as like what anybody eats. I'm just going to tell you from a frequency perspective that pork and eel and a couple other things, odd things, are like, they're actually like negative energy. So they're not just low vibrational energy. So if you're a pranic healer, I quit eating pork a long time ago, just because, in order for me to be able to be a good healer, I have to watch my frequency level as well. And then you've got beef, and not only are they low frequency, but they're also harder to digest. And then you've got your poultries, and then fish would be like your highest frequency for proteins. And then all your vegetables, fruits and vegetables are, I mean, they're, they're closer to being just, you know, they're not like, they're not killed and they're not frozen and stored forever. We get them like a month later in the grocery store. So, and again, no judgment there. I do still eat, you know, animal proteins, but, just to be aware of, as you know, it, you know, what we're putting in our mouth too. And then we had talked earlier about just blessing the food to help with to help raise that frequency. Does anybody else want to jump in and share anything here? We have a small enough group that please feel free.
Well, I wanted to, for those of you who haven't heard yet, we have a new product line called Core that has 4 ingredients. And now we have a new designation called high frequency food. And so that just ties into everything that Joe was sharing. And so for it to qualify as a high frequency food, it has to be 500 hertz or higher. And for those 4 products in the core line, which are youth, zyme, biome, and gut, they all have that. And it's a picture of Einstein with his tongue like sticking out, and it's fun. It's just a fun, I think it's great.
I'm
So
so excited.
yeah, so those foods are high frequency. There's 2 that are capsules and 2 that are drinks. So, and they're delicious drinks. So
And they're youth design.
youth is the collagen, and that's a drink. It's a concentrate, and you add it to water. It's delicious. Like I would enjoy drinking it, whether it had the health benefits or not. It was that good.
Wow.
Then we have zyme, which are enzymes. So youth is all the forms of collagen, 28. I thought there was only 5 because that's all I've ever seen in the market, right? There's 28. And there's way more stuff than that too. But that's the kind of the essence of youth, because it attacks the 3 main causes of aging. So it gets to the root cause. So there's youth, which is a drink, then zyme, ZYME, which are the digestive enzymes to help metabolize everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's biome, because it heals the biome I didn't know we had 6 biome. Joe probably already knew that. I did not know we had 6 biome. Like in addition to our gut, we have skin biome, we have biome, which is the urinary tract system.
Oh yeah.
Let
You
me
have
look up
your mouth. Your
the
probably
mouth
your sinus
includes the mouth.
cavities.
The mouth is the respiratory. Let me look at this. I don't know if I can find it in my. I don't know where my book went. I had all
How
these
was the
notes written
taste
down.
of the
Let me see if I can
collagen
find
of the youth?
what is the base of it?
Taste. How did it taste?
Oh, it was like a fruity flavor. It was so good. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm looking at my pictures here. Here's the high frequency food with Einstein, and it says the
Yeah.
future is frequency. So it has to be 500 plus. I don't know why it doesn't tell us what it is, but it has nano collagen peptides, energy electrolyte blend. So I was already paying for electrolytes, and now I don't have to do that anymore.
And that's in which one? The collagen?
The collagen product is called Youth, YOUTH. There's a health span fusion complex and branch chain amino acids. Oh, Ron says it tastes like Tang. Yeah, I would say it was good.
Oh, awesome.
And then the zyme, or the enzymes, the biome helps. Oh, that's what I was looking for, is the pictures of the different kind of biomes that we have. And then there is gut, which attacks, I don't know, that's kind of a harsh word, which addresses the root cause of metabolic syndrome, which deals with people who are hanging on to weight, hormonal imbalances, blood pressure issues, blood sugar issues. I mean, it's, so It's amazing. It's amazing. And fiber, it has fiber in it too, I think.
Probably prebiotic fiber.
Yes. And then the biome has prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics.
Love it.
Yeah. So they said, I don't see the picture of I know I wrote it down about the 7 or the 6 different biomes. Thought I had a
If you
picture.
find it, jump in and let us know. I'm gonna go back to this.
Oh, here we go. Digestive biome, urobiome, which is the bladder, kidney, respiratory biome, skin biome, eye biome,
Of
and
course, that makes
reproductive biome.
sense.
Yeah, and reproductive biome. And our biome product addresses all 6 of our biomes.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it's so cool.
That's amazing. Does
Sorry, that's
anybody
what.
else want to say anything about this this graph here or have any ideas? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So,
Lisa.
hi everyone. Um, one thought I have is imprinting the water, because I've done a lot of study on water, and basically water becomes blood in about 5 minutes in the body. And so if you start to imprint your water with the higher frequencies, that's going to assist the whole body. It's my theory, right? It's not my knowing, it's my theory at this point. But I've played a lot with water. I've put lots of different frequencies in the water, including the terahertz. And I've looked at how we could do that on a bigger scale. It's not as easy. That's one of the reasons I got Solex in the first place, was I wanted to see if we could find ways to give people high frequency water. So I just feel like that is something that if we start to really play with that, because water will pick up whatever is around it. So if you've got a glass of water near you and you're thinking not so happy things, it's going to pick up on that. Whereas if you imprint it with, really good things, then that's going to assist you to keep at the high frequency as well. So I think that's something we could definitely play with.
Absolutely. Have you been following any of the people who are imprinting the water in the Petri dishes and freezing it?
Oh, Veda Austin? Yeah.
Yes, Beta Austin.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's just so much, yes, research on it from that point of view. So, and I just look at it, we've got basically something that imprints frequencies. So let's go,
Right. And so I also, one of the things that I do as well is I take my water. I know different people have different things that they do, but I do filter my water, and then I actually take it and I put it out in the sun, and the sun charges it. And this is a message that, again, Meg from our team, and she couldn't be here tonight, but that was one of the things that she was told to do, that Mary told her to do, was to put that water out in the sun, because it's in these dark pipes running through our homes and underground for so long. And so definitely getting the frequencies from the sun as well. So, but that's perfect. That's exactly what we're wanting to talk about tonight. Connie,
Well,
did you
and
want to say
Lisa,
anything?
well, I imprint my water every day with my different playlists and all the, charge it with the terahertz one first, and I have a whole system. And when Lisa was talking, what I've never done yet, what occurred to me is, you could put your town water tower in as an object and send and broadcast frequencies to it. And I wonder what that would do.
Oh, that's a good idea. I do my neighborhoods. I even do like my whole area, and it has zip codes. So I have like a map of that, and I send frequencies to that.
The
Buildings.
map. Yeah.
I love that.
The whole state of Rhode Island, since it's so tiny. But yeah.
Connie, I have a question about the water. And I think so if we have a bottle that's metal, that's like the steel bottles that keep everything cool. I was either thinking, one, that the metal might keep the water from being charged, or it might also hold the charge as well.
I think it holds the charge as well.
Okay. That's kind of where I was thinking.
Yeah. but you wouldn't want to charge through the metal, just to
No.
be really clear.
Yeah,
You want to charge in glass and then pour your water into the metal.
Okay. That's kind of what I was wondering.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
And preferably never use plastic because you've got
Right.
things leaching, even when they say not. I just want to go back to what Connie was saying. I can't remember exactly what she said, but what it made me think of was, you know how like some fabrics like silk and linen and cotton, pure cotton are high frequency? Makes me wonder if we can also put frequencies into our clothes, given that it's very hard to find those things in their purity these days. I just wonder if there's actually ways to, you know, maybe use them as targets, use all the clothes in your wardrobe as a target and imprint the higher frequencies. I don't know. It's just a thought.
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we're getting to the creative phase now.
I tell everybody our software is only limited by our imagination. And I love that we're all coming together to give ideas because Lisa, you were the one that said, I want my whole community. And I'm like, oh, you could do the water tower, which is metal. And, it's still, I would still do something.
But
You know?
couldn't you still send frequencies even with intentions if it's through metal?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Lisa, I'm curious what your thought was when you said don't imprint it through the metal.
If you're doing it physically, like for example, if you're using a terahertz wand, then potentially because you're heating, you're putting metal into your water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we're just using the scanner.
Good question. I think it's probably less likely, but you'd probably want to test it, like
Just be
get a
safe.
pendulum or something and see if you can test it. Yeah. I don't know. I guess like because we sell wands, not the Solex ones, the other ones. We've been a stockist for a couple of years in Australia. And we just learned glass is the thing because also it's the higher frequency.
Right.
So over time, I've just moved everything to glass, like I filter in ceramic, but then I move that water into glass and then I use the water from the glass.
And you drink out of a glass instead of anything metal.
I've got one metal water bottle still, just because it's practical for hiking and things like that.
Right.
But my preference, yeah, where I can is glass, definitely.
I understand. I
Well,
store my
and
watering glass too, other than what I drink out of.
Yeah.
over the weekend, they came out with at Solex, you can buy for, I think, $10, 6 Solex shot glasses. So I've been just using regular shot glasses to imprint my water for my playlist every day, to drink. Because there's quite a few. And so I just drink it in shot glasses, but now Solex has them. And then Solex also has a tumbler, which is metal. But anyway, they now have the shot glasses too with the Solex logo on it.
Very cool. Awesome. Anybody else want to share anything or any ideas?
I would love to see the rest of your PowerPoint.
Okay, let's keep going. So this is Joe Dispenza. I'm sure that most of us have heard of him. And he basically said, if you can stay out of judgment, if you can remain in the moment and observe yourself in real time, you can collect all the data you need to recalibrate your new state of being. And this just means to me that our minds have so much power. And so I really haven't dug in yet to mind sync yet, but Connie, I know that you have. So is there anything because I feel like that mind sync is just another fabulous tool that we have to help.
Yes, MindSync is amazing. And I'm really excited about the new AO Infinity Hub. There was a Zen master that used the AO Hub in connection with MindSync, and he said that it was like 10 years after one or two sessions, it was like he had been the same place he had been after 10 years of meditation. So that
Did you say the Infinity Hub, is that the same as the Theta Hub?
Yes, it's actually called the AO Infinity Hub,
Okay.
and it's modeled after the theta chamber.
Okay.
So it has the same benefits. It just takes a little longer because we don't have the movement of it. And then Jennifer Nelson Hawks shared that when she did mind sync in with the theta, she did it in the theta chamber. She said that it was like it was like manifesting on steroids, like things just like she couldn't believe how much it accelerated things.
Was there anything like specific that they were putting into the mind sync?
So I have a little recipe that I use when I look up to create the affirmations, and I'm going to add something to it after I heard, I can't remember, Deb Bruce shared. And so I'm an NLP master coach and trainer. So I have a prompt and I can put it in. Let me look it up and I'll put it into the chat. So that if you guys want to copy this or not. I love MindSync. MindSync is, I mean, I don't know, like there's so many parts that are favorites, right? And so here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. This is the prompt I use. And then I'm also gonna say, I'm gonna add, I remember. So I put this into a search engine, create 25 affirmations as a master NLP coach and trainer, because we're trained in the science of the unconscious mind. So I want to bring that body of knowledge to this list that I need using NLP strategies for the following goal. And then I put my goal in here. So it could be whatever your goal is, right? And then we know that like before you have the result, there's the actions you take to get to the result. And before you take the actions, there's the emotions that you have. And before you have the emotions, there's thoughts, right? So it goes thoughts, emotion, action, result. So I say I easily think the thoughts, feel the feelings, and take the actions to support the goal, right? Then write the affirmations beginning with the following, because what I found out was I am is a root chakra statement. I feel is a sacral chakra statement. I do is a solar plexus statement. I love, of course, is the heart. I speak is the throat chakra. I see is the third eye. I understand is the crown. And then what Deb Bruce shared is because of the reticular activating system, it's the part of our brain that looks for things that are important to us. That's why when you go buy a new car, all of a sudden you see the same car out there everywhere you go. Or when you're in a crowd and you hear your name or your kids' names, because those names are important to you, you'll look around to see if, you know, they're talking to you. And so that reticular activating system will go to work for you to look for what you want. So if we say, I remember, it's as if it's already happened, because that's what we want to come from. So now I'm going to, so like, I remember when I hit $20,000 a month from Solex. And then my brain is going to go look for, wait a minute, she remembers it. And then being in that same frequency with the law of resonance, it'll be, you know, it's mine. Well, you know, like yours will find you. Always.
So you said I am is crown.
No, I
Feel
am is root.
heart. Huh?
So it goes from the root. So in the chat, I have I am is root. I feel is the sacral. I do is solar plexus. I love is heart. I speak is throat. I see is third eye. I understand is crown. Oh, thank you, Lisa. And then I remember is activates the reticular activating system to look for evidence of it and bring it in.
What? Say that word again. The reticular.
It's 3 words: reticular activating system.
Like RETICULAR.
Oh, let me see if I can spell it. Reticular activating.
I'm adding this to the playlist for a week from now.
There, reticular activating system. I just put in the chat.
All right, I got it. Awesome. That is pretty neat. So just doing a simple creating this recording, this affirmation, and being in this infinity hub at the same time is what the Zen master was saying, that it was as if he had been meditating for 10 years.
Yes. Because it goes so deep in.
That's amazing.
It really, really is.
What's an infinity hub?
It's our newest addition to the AO Infinity line that interacts with the software. You have to use it with a computer, with a Windows operating system, not Mac. And it's just like the theta chamber that Lauren developed for his son, which is why we even have Solex. So his son, he adopted a little boy that had a baby that had cerebral palsy. And he sent out around the world in the 70s, before internet, before all of that, to find a solution for his son, because the medical world has no solutions for cerebral palsy. And he went literally all over the world, and he found the solution. And I don't know where the science from the theta hub, the theta chamber came from, but that was his first product for energy development. And his son no longer has signs of cerebral palsy.
So it won't work on a Mac though.
It will not work on a Mac. It needs a Windows operating system. So even like a Chromebook won't work, because Chromebook doesn't use the Windows operating system.
Wow.
It's a miracle. I'm telling you, the more you hear about it, it is a miracle. It is a miracle gift for humanity. Like,
So
no
did they say when it's coming to Australia?
I
They're
don't
feeling
know.
lovely.
Are you with Beck McQuilty?
With what?
Are you on Beck McQuilty's team?
I'm on Nadia's team.
Oh, you're on Nadia's team. I love Nadia.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah. She might know. I talked to customer service today. And I have one person in Australia, and I haven't talked to her yet. So I'm not sure about Australia.
That's all right. I just wondered if you knew.
Yeah. Because I think you would need a different plug, right? Or can you use an adapter?
So we actually need a completely different power level, like wattage or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. So because you can, for some things, you can get like a step up, step down converter, but for this kind of stuff, I would not want to do that. I would want a proper plug, because you work on 110 volts and we work on 240.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why some of your things we don't get, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to add another thought. Back to when people were saying about the David Hawkins book and it being really quite difficult to understand, because I found that too. A book that I found really useful is called Frequency by a lady called Penny Pierce. And she just really explains how frequency works. And I found it much more readable. So for anyone who's wanting something a bit simpler, that might be worth a check in too.
I actually did a podcast with that book, reading the highlights of that book,
Yeah.
and summarizing it in an hour a week for, I don't even know. I could put that link in the chat if anybody wants to listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely. I like listening. So yeah.
It's on you. We have them on YouTube. Let me look it up.
What's her last name? I got Penny.
Pierce. I think that's how you spell it. It might be an EY. I've got a few pennies in my head. Sometimes I forget which one's spelled which way.
Okay, we'll get it once you put that in the chat, just so I can get it recorded as well. I don't know if the chat shows up in the recording or not. Do you, Connie?
Yeah, when you download, if you download everything, the chat will download as a text
so they'll
file.
see the whole video as well as the recording.
You'll have to send that file separately. It comes as a separate file.
Okay.
Not within the video. So you have to send it as well.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right.
So that's our YouTube channel, and I'm gonna see if I could. It always says what it's about, but it's all of the last recordings. Because we stopped about a year ago.
That's awesome. Thank you, Connie.
That's funny that you would bring that up. There are no accidents.
That's right.
We're all connected.
Yes.
That's right. All
I'm
right, so
looking.
Connie, I've added this in here to the slide deck for next week, and I may just get with you on it and clean it up a little bit, if
Sounds
that's
good.
okay with you.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and so we've already kind of been talking about this. How can AO scan make a difference? Does anybody else want to share any ways that they're using AO scan or?
There is one other thing I want to maybe, and maybe you're going to raise this later, I don't know. The power of collective action. So if we all use exactly the same playlist, does that amplify? Is my question. And I suspect it does, but I'm just curious.
So I'm
If
part of
there's
a prayer
anything.
group,
Yeah,
and
okay.
we coordinate it so it's the same time. I think the same playlist is great, and even more powerful would be at the same time.
Time. Cool.
What?
Because I
What is
just
that
wonder if
group,
we can
Connie?
set a couple of times, you know, or maybe 2 times a day, so you cover all time zones, where put your playlist on if you can. It just might start to amplify things, because I think there's a collective and a global aspect to this as well that's very much needed.
Mm-hmm.
Connie,
Yeah,
tell
because we
me,
could
I don't know
actually
what, can you tell me what this
put
group
a
is
picture
for?
of the world in our target. You know what I'm saying? In our objects and spaces, we could have a picture of the world, and we could send it to the world. I think that would be very powerful. At one point, so I was a beta tester, so I've been around for 4 years. And at one point, back, there was a group that was doing that.
Hmm. I know in pranic healing, so we do a meditation. It's called Meditation on Twin Hearts. And it's a meditation to bless the earth. And we use the prayer of Saint Francis. So maybe even like going through that, the prayer of Saint Francis, which is, Lord, make me a channel of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's doubt, let me show faith. And we always say that anytime, and it's actually in scripture too, where one or more are gathered in his name, right? So I think absolutely, Lisa, that when more of us are gathered, even if we're gathered remotely, it's that intention that we're all doing it at the same time. So we don't have to be in the same room. We don't have to be on a Zoom call together. It's the setting of intention. And there is so much like power. And doesn't he even talk about that in Power versus Force, where as more people are doing things, it just exponentially, not even just like, it doesn't just go up by like 1 or 2, but it just goes up beyond even that. Like it's exponential, I believe.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll try and find that information. I know that was something that I've had heard before.
And maybe this is one part of the invitation to the wider Solex community, is we're doing this as a group. Anyone is welcome to join that particular part, where they just play their playlist at that time, you know?
Right.
Because I think the more we have, the greater the impact.
100%. I agree as well.
Without getting into all the arguments that that started this group. We can probably find a way to word it that keeps it simple.
Right. And I think it was just a very natural thing to happen, is that people wanted to understand first what we meant by Christ consciousness. And then it got just a little bit too much in the philosophy and religion and spirituality of it. Which, I get, and it's just I think we just have to remember to come back to, we're talking about the scanner and frequency and vibration. So 100%. So yeah, so I just kind of put some things down here. Like, I think even what that graph shows us, that pyramid, is that it's a journey, is that we're constantly journeying. And probably there's sometimes when we're moving up and down that pyramid, right? So, maybe we're moving up, and then, maybe we have a bad day and we come down. And so I think and that's how our journeys go. But I just put some different things down here. I kind of added AO tune at the last minute, so that's kind of why it's up there. I would really love, I have just kind of like randomly, like I haven't really studied AO tune, but I have like, I'll go in when I'm doing the frequencies for myself and I'll just scan myself 3 times and whatever comes up, I play. But I found it fascinating. I picked up a book. It was about dreams and intuition, and I had it sitting on my counter and I scanned myself for AO tune, and what came up was like Venus, intuition, and dream experience. Like it was crazy.
Of course it
So
did.
I have a sense that these frequencies out there in AO tune are those like Christ consciousness frequencies. Anybody have any thoughts on that? I see your head nodding, Lisa and Connie.
Yeah, I think you're right. I started Googling each frequency as it came up,
Yeah.
and that was very interesting. And I am going to actually make a full list of them. I just haven't had time to do it yet. So yeah, I think that, yeah, there's certainly not all of the frequencies. Some of them are very much about the body, like all the auto frequencies, very much about the body. But when you get to those more high level ones, they're absolutely where we're talking. And I'm like you, I'll just 3 to 5 times play whatever the frequencies come up. It's like a
Yeah.
little toy, you know, it's like spin the wheel and you get another prize.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel like about it too. Love it, love it. And then I just also, this was just my, down here in this chart was really just my like kind of putting things on paper. It was like, you know, if I just did a brain dump, this is the things that came up to me was, you know, we already talked about awareness and self-reflection. Journaling, I think, is a really great way to help us really understand, you know, who we are or to really get in a space of setting intentions for the day and that sort of thing. Meditation for sure. Is anybody using AO scan to help with meditation?
I have.
Is there
I'll
anything
have my
particular that
playlist.
you have a playlist?
No, I mean, like I'll run the inner voice
Yeah.
and then I will meditate to that.
Oh, interesting. I love that. I think rituals certainly can help us get there, whatever that may look like to you. We talked a little bit about healthy eating, self-care, exercise, just all these things. So it's not just about our spiritual body or our emotional body, but also our physical body. Mindfulness, gratitude, compassion, generosity, balancing emotions. Anybody have any other thoughts along anything else that they would like to add? Maybe we can do like a word cloud out of this or something. I think this is certainly things that we could, some of this we could find ways to put it into playlists, right? Thoughts before we move on? All right, and so then we'll just end with this that and I don't know who said this, but Christ consciousness, the incandescent fire of love is being born in the cave of the heart. And from there, it will move outward to light our world. And what this really meant to me was that it starts within, and then we allow that to shine. And that's really how we change the world. But anybody else, is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we close for the night, or any thoughts?
I like that sending frequencies to the picture of a world.
Hmm. Or to our towns, our cities, the water towers. It's a great idea. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, then I'll let you guys get back to your evenings. And for those of you that are overseas, thank you so much for joining in the middle of the night. And we'll just continue this conversation. Definitely, this gave us some things for the next group, which will be Wednesday, the 25th. And just continuing to learn and do great things in the world, right? So I
Thank
hope you guys
you.
have,
Yeah, that was interesting. Thanks.
yeah, I hope,
Sorry I was so quiet this time. I just started using this app, so I don't really know a lot and don't have a lot to share, but I'm definitely going to try the things that you all talked about tonight.
yeah,
I'll
well, we're
definitely be
glad
on
you're
the
with
next
us.
call.
I think we're all
Thanks.
learning too. So Connie has been, like she said, she's been around for like 4 years. So we are really lucky to have her on the call with us tonight as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, God
Love it.
bless all of you guys.
Yeah.
And huh?
I said, I love it. Thanks.
Yes. And if you think of anything else, feel free to message me, to message Connie, to put anything in that AO scan chat. And yeah, we'll just keep having this conversation, and maybe we can figure out some sort of time, each in our own time zones, to gather our teams together and do a, even if it's just a 2-minute playlist to bless our part of the world, or yeah. So I appreciate you all so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Right.
Thank
Namaste,
you.
friends.
It's been lovely.